Hey, Scare Friends! Welcome back to the GRiM Stitch Factory on YouTube with your old buddy, Mr. GRiM, the talking head today. As promised on yesterday's GRiM show, episode 10, I'm going to bring in more of my Mountain Man knives to show you, give you a close-up bird's eye view, and give you some more instructions and just basically go over what we talked about yesterday, only you get to see them much closer. So, as Mr. GRiM said yesterday in episode 10, when you're going to start doing this hobby of making your own Mountain Man knives, there's three things you need to collect first, okay? Three things you need to collect. And the first thing are blades. You need to collect blades. And as Mr. GRiM said yesterday on the show, you want to try to go for older blades. You want to avoid stainless steel because it doesn't rust and corrode like this, okay? So you want to collect blades that are old. Here's an example of a nice blade you could collect or find and use for this hobby. In and of itself, this is a really nice old blade. But if you wanted to make it like more of a Mountain Man knife, you're going to have to bash off that handle and remove it right down to the tang so you can slip it into a wood base or a wood handle and then add a topper. But this is the type of thing you want to be looking for. And the great thing about this hobby, Scare Friends, is that when you do find blades like this, usually at like garage sales or barn sales or antique, this stuff is cheap. They're practically giving it away. Okay? So that's an example there. The next thing you're going to need to collect, handles. As I said yesterday, Mr. GRiM looks for old tools, stuff like that, old tool handles, and sometimes I'll take like hardwood and I'll even carve my own handle, like these three here in the middle. Yeah. Otherwise, I'll use tool handles. So you want to form a collection of tool handles. There you go. So that's Mr. GRiM's collection. I got a bunch of them, but that's just one pack. The next thing is you want to collect toppers, drawer pulls, anything like that. Older, the better. Painted, the better. Okay? So let's take a look at what some of those look like on the Mountain Man knives we've made. So all of these you're looking at here, they got really nice paint and chip, and I haven't done any of that. All of this is au naturel, found as is. And these are the ones I grab every time. You can also grab these really nice metal loops. They're good because once you're done, you can hang these things up and you can hang them up vertically and they look really cool, like a butcher shop. And particularly when they're nice and big and long. So just getting back to the blades quickly because I just noticed this. This one here used to be a saw. But Mr. GRiM bench ground that sucker. Yeah, bench ground that sucker into a blade. And you can do that too. This was also a saw. Mr. GRiM bench ground that little spud into a nice, long, surgical-looking blade. Really scary looking. Yeah, so you can use saws, too, and just bench grind the saw blade off. Okay, here you go. So there's the toppers. Also, this is nice. It's a brass handle off maybe an old drawer or something. Okay, so let's set down the camera here. Let's set down the camera because we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of it. Okay, as I was saying yesterday, Scare Friends, when you're assembling these, all you need is this. That's what I use. It is a basic 5-minute cheap epoxy. I actually get this at a dollar store. I pay like $1.50 for it. That's it. That's all you need. 2-part epoxy. Okay? So what you're going to do is once you get your knife, like this, you're going to want to remove the handle if you want to use just the blade. So you're going to find maybe a knife like this, and you're going to want to remove the handle so you get just the tang exposed. Now, I know what some of you folks are saying. You're saying, hey, Mr. GRiM, that's a pretty cool looking knife there. That's a nice one. Why would you want to damage that? To which I respond, well, Scare Friends, up in this neck of the woods, these knives are as common as grass. So there's no tears being shed when I bash the living heck out of it and turn it into a Mountain Man knife. So you get a blade like that. Put him down, then you're left with this. So what you want to do after this looks like a butter knife. So that's not that threatening. So what you want to do with this blade is you want to get on a bench grinder. You want to get it looking like that. So you take this knife and with a marker, you just draw out the pattern, whatever pattern you want to design it into or cut it into or grind it down to. And then you go at it with a bench grinder. You make it really nice looking. This was bench ground into that shape. You can see that edge there. So you bench grind it, you get the shape. Okay, let's put him back. Let's put him down. Now we move on to the handles. So once you get your handle done, you get this. You got your handle here, and here's a topper. I sometimes put nails in them just so they fit down in there better. So when you fill it up with epoxy, it anchors it. It's more secure. So you do that. Now this one actually, this one is hollow, as you can see, Scare Friends. So what I would probably do is I would stuff some cotton down there, stuff some material, or even put a filler of some kind down there. So I measure it out, depth, so that when I put it down, it's not coming out the end there. So I would do that. Then I would set the top, epoxy that. After that's cured, take your tang and put the tang in there. This one would need to be cut a bit, but you get the idea. There we go. And you epoxy that, and boom, nice little mountain knife when it's done. Okay? It really is quite that simple. Okay? So there's all sorts of different handles you can use. This is like an old chisel handle. And here's like, some people like these because you can hang them up. So same thing, if that's hollow, you're going to need to fill the center with something. Okay? Put a piece of doweling down there maybe, and then just pop that in. Epoxy that until it's dry and cured. Once that's epoxied, add your blade to the end. Okay? Same thing. Here's a larger handle. Another thing you can do to anchor your toppers is you can screw a screw down there and then cut it off and just go like this. Screw that right on like that, and even epoxy it too. So then you screw it on and you add epoxy. So then you get your knife and you just slip the tang in there. Once it's done, these don't really match that well. I'm just doing this as an example to give you an idea. And then you epoxy that in there. Okay. Yeah. Here's another one. This is a really cool one. This used to be an old screwdriver. It's got some wire on it. That's a nice one. You pull the screwdriver out. You add a decorative topper to it. Yeah. And you can hang this up. Now, one thing I will point out, and this is something I haven't touched on yet, getting the screwdrivers out of here, getting the tools out of the handle can be, well, it helps if you're a good bench presser and you can do deadlifting, because sometimes it takes a lot of muscle to get that tool out of there. Because these antique tools, they're not cheap Home Depot crap. This is stuff that was made to last back in the day. So sometimes getting these things apart, these things can be really pesky. They put up a good fight. I got to tell you, Mr. Grimm is not lying to you. They can put up a real good fight, but the rewards, as you can see behind you, the rewards are really worth it. Okay, so that's it, friends. That's a little bit of a course on mountain man knife making. There's all sorts of things to do with this. You can make big ones, small ones, and, never think the small ones aren't cool, because look at that. That's a cool one. I love this one. And the end of it there, that's just let me focus there. That's just like a tack. I put a tack in there. But look at that one. That's a cool one. It's small, but, yeah, he's cute. He's a cute one. So never give up, on the small ones. They're cute too. You can always decorate them too when you're done. So old Mr. Grimm, I like to add nails and stuff into them. Yeah. That adds a nice kind of like a wrong turn look, as I said before. And there's some leather I stitched on there. I'll even add wire. And I'll add the wire too. I'll add the wire right into the epoxy as it's curing. So you'll put that in and see, you notice that's kind of fuzzy there. There's some fuzzy stuff. That's like some material I just threw in too. So I stuck that to the epoxy. And then once I stuck all that material to the sticky epoxy, then I start going in there with the wire and threading the wire around and around and around. Yeah, you can get some real looks. Just be imaginative. Just be creative. There you go. Look at that. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you like what I'm doing. I hope you like my Mountain Man knives. And I hope you have fun making your own. So, until next time, it's almost Halloween, so I'm going to let you get back to making your costume. This is your old buddy, Scare Friends, Mr. Grimm, saying, keep it scary.